Well, first and foremost, we're back again. Folks, I'm not going to tell you anything that many of you may not already know when it comes to the 2025. We're talking about the late model 2025 Aniioki A8 Pro Max single motor. And the reason I'm not going to tell you a lot about it is quite simple. Because Aniioki made this bike better in 2026. I kid you not. In 2025, the Aniioki A8 single motor came with a 1500 watt rear direct drive motor with a 1600 watt peak. That's what they came with. Nothing more to discuss. It had no front, left or right turn signals. It had no hazards. It was just a basic model bike. A great entry level for those who sort of have a complex mindset when it comes to tech. But in 2026, Aniioki did something absolutely spectacular. And know what they did? Well, I'm going to share it with you. They not only remade this bike, they went in and built some internals inside the direct drive motors, and they also added a bunch of extra stuff that you typically don't find on the base models. I think they made a great move. Let's talk about it. In 2026, Aniioki came out again with the Aniioki A8 Pro Max single direct drive motor. This time, not 1500 watts to start, but 1600 watts. Not a 1600 watt peak, but 2000 watt peak. That gives you a little bit more ump in your motor. That's right, they did it, and they did it quite well. And I'll tell you something right now. This bike is probably one of Aniioki's most selling bike. We're talking about this one, probably a tie between the AQ177, but it is a popular bike, a popular model amongst the Aniioki brand. Let's talk about a few more things that they added to the 2026 model. First and foremost, Aniioki came in and they said, we're going to go ahead and add left and right front turn signals. Yeah, they did that. Not only that you get them in the rear, but you also get them up front. Now, that's a huge plus because it's a huge safety concern, and it adds to the visibility of other vehicles being able to spot you when you need to make that right or left. But they also added a hazard. I don't know about you. You may not find that being a big deal. I do. And the great news about it, you still get that 52 volt, 70 amp hour battery. That means you're getting the long distance in upwards of 200 miles if you just choose pedal assist. If you use the throttle, you're getting between 90 to 120. And of course, there are some other factors, your body weight, the terrain. Are you using open throttle versus pedal assist? You know, some things will affect you. But other than that, folks, we're not here to talk about anything that you all don't already know. But many of you may not know about the 2026 model. Oh, by the way, don't forget, there's a link below. So you folks can click on that link and you can get a nice size discount. And thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Aniioki offers some great product, and they offer a lot of accessories that you can add to make your bike suitable and more enjoyable in the outdoors. Now, let's talk about some of the power. Newton meters, you're looking at about anywhere between 90 to 120 Newton meters. Is the bike fast? No. Is it powerful? Absolutely not. Does it have the torque you need to get off the line? Yeah, right. It's slower than a damn turtle. The bottom line is this bike was never meant to be fast. It was a bike that's meant for urban and city commuting. So for college students, here's your driver, okay? For people who want to commute to work and it's not too far of a distance, here you go, right here. Perfect bike. For individuals that may have some limited mobility issues, let me share something with you. First and foremost, you see how I can stand over this bike, my feet flat? I can sit and still got more than a 90-degree angle. So if you're between the height of, let's say, 5'8", 8.5, 5'9", and upwards of 5'11", this is going to be perfect for you, and you're going to be able to put your feet flat. Now I have my seat at the bottom because I want to share something with you. I tend to ride with about 2 to 3 inches up, okay? But the fact that I can move it with my hips like this tells you that this bike can easily be manipulated. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you're looking at about 65 to about 68 pounds. When you compare that to 168 and upwards of 200 pounds with the Aniioki A8 dual motor, A9 dual motor, that's a huge difference. That's 2.5 times the body weight. Okay? Now, or should I say the weight of the bike. But I'll tell you, at 60 plus pounds, I can manipulate and move in a certain way that makes me confident in my riding skills, knowing that I don't have to worry about moving such a heavy object. For older riders, and I am an older guy, I have some disabilities, but I don't have as much as I've seen some people have. And I'll tell you what right now, when my knees go out on me, when my rheumatoid arthritis start acting up, when I'm just sitting there just, oh man, I can barely move, when I can barely lift my legs, I'm happy to have this bike. Why? Because I know that I can handle it weight-wise. The fact that I can get off my bike, take the kickstand off, and still be able to hold it without worried about, that's a problem that people tend to incur when they deal with heavier e-bike models. The fact that I can sit back and put that kickstand on, and I suggest that anytime you're getting on your bike or getting off, put that kickstand down first. Put it down first, okay? And then you can get off. That way you don't have to worry about, and the bike goes down. You see the difference? You don't want that to happen at all. So that's my whole point. I want you folks to really, really think about the experience you get when you're riding something like this. It absolutely works wonders. Okay, so stay tuned, and we're going to get into something else, and we're going to take a speed test on this bike, which is really slow, to be honest with you. But I'm going to talk to you from the Insta360 side of things. Until then, stick with me. Speed test, and trust me, this bike is slow. I'm going against a lot of wind. I can tell you right now that although the bike reads 33, my GPS reads 26, and I trust my GPS over anything. This is not a fast bike. Be not discouraged, because this bike is made to get you from A to Z and do it smoothly. And this is what I love about Aniioki. They make models that'll fit all your needs. If you want a bike just to commute, you don't need a lot of power and torque and speed, you got the SingleMotor AQ177, and you have the Aniioki A8 single motor also. And so you're able to still ride long distance, but at the same time, not have to worry about a bike that you probably wouldn't be able to handle. So as you see, I'm riding. So we'll go up here to the bike trail here, and we'll take a little ride. I will say, if you're trying to get somewhere in a hurry, you'll still get there, but it won't be as fast. Now, the speed on this bike is supposed to be between 28 and 35 miles an hour. I haven't been able to get that. The second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth time that I've been riding this bike, I got it in the beginning. And my GPS matched exactly what was on the display. So I'm not sure what the issue is. I did go into the settings and mess around a little bit I probably hit something that I shouldn't have. And what I will do is go back into the settings and make sure that I did not change anything that will change the outcome of the speed. And that's a big possibility. Okay, that's a big possibility. So anywho, what I love about this bike also is the fact that I can ride on gravel quite easily and safe. And why? When you have a bike that has a lot of torque and a lot of power, what tends to happen is your bike will have this sort of spinning on the front tires and the rear. Your bike will start to spin. And when it spins, that could cause, you could go down, the bike could slide from underneath you. So those are some of the things that can tend to happen when you're riding a much more powerful bike. But since this bike is a single motor and it's not as torquey and powerful coming out of the block, you're going to be a lot more confident, and you're going to feel a lot more safer on this bike. So if you are an older person, you don't have to worry about not being able to handle this bike off-road. And so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to cross over to the gravel side. That means I'm going to go up this hill like so. I'm going to cross over here away from the bike path. And now I'm on the gravel. And I can show you better than I can tell you. Now you should be able to hear the gravel. And I can go full speed and not have a problem. I would caution though, be careful, because this bike is not great when it comes to turning corners on gravel or sand. And I don't think any bike is great like that unless you got something like a professional dirt bike. Something that's got tires that are made for this. These tires are not made for this. You get your standard 20x4 tires with this late model A8, and with the new 2026 model A8, they did upgrade the tires. I noticed that, and they look absolutely superb as opposed to this one, these tires. But anywho, let me be a little careful here. All right. It's a beautiful day out. Absolutely gorgeous. This is what I love. If I would have had something like this back in the day when I was on campus, we never imagined that there would be electric bikes of this stats around today. Had I had something like this, it would have been an entirely different ball game. Okay? An entirely different ball game. I would have never had a car at the age of 18 trying to go to school in the city of San Francisco, California. I would have always ridden my e-bike. Why not? Imagine where you may be one of very few people that have an e-bike. The cool factor that you would have had. And the way Aniioki bikes look right now, I couldn't imagine having one of these back then and being able to keep it without someone trying to take it from me, rob me, or steal it, So I love the Aniioki brand, and I'm just very curious about what they're going to come up with next. And I'm not sure. I'm being honest. I'm not sure. I'm going to find one of these side trails because right now I'm still on the gravel path next to the water. Oh, there we are. So let me go ahead and turn around right here, and we'll go down this little etched out walk trail here. And that's about it. It's a good ride though. It really is. Okie dokie, here we go. All right, there we go. So all in all, who is this bike for? Well, I've already told you that. Can anyone ride this bike? Well, that's your prerogative. It's really up to you. I like speed. I like torque and power. So I've always been the type of individual that I gotta have the dual motor or very powerful rear motor, you know? So I have to have that because I want to be able to have it when I need it. You know, I simply want to have it when I need it. Most animals could run about the speed that this bike can go, 25 and upwards of 35 miles an hour. Okay. And so if I got a dog or somebody chasing me, I want to be able to outrun them on this bike. And I won't be able to do that on this one. I can do it on a dual motor. But that's about it. But until next time, as I've always stated, take care of yourselves and check out the link below. Use my code and let's go riding. Me and you. How about that?